Welcome to the morning show on eTV, and today we're thrilled to welcome a true trailblazer, Belinde Schreuder, the newly crowned Miss International South Africa 2024. Belinde is much more than just a beauty queen. She's an advocate, a mentor and an entrepreneur, and as she prepares to take on the world stage in Japan, we'll dive into her inspiring journey and the powerful message she carries with her. Belinde, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Now, Belinde, let's start by the start. You've been part of the world of pageantry for more than 2 decades, more than 20 years. Now, how has the industry evolved, and what role do you see beauty queens in today's society?
I have to say it's very interesting to see how the industry has changed and how it has evolved to really focus more on advocacy, what you stand for, and the change you would like to bring. So as you said, that I am very passionate about my advocacy, and that is truly about elephant and rhino conservation, and then as well as youth development.
Now, you now mentioned youth development and conservation. Can you please tell me about the success stories and the initiatives that you've been a part of in these two facets?
So I am an ambassador for the Rory, Hensman Conservation and Research Unit, where they specifically focus on elephant conservation. So very interesting, the research that is being done here on our South African elephants is taken globally. So just a quick thing, I've recently been involved in the sugar blood tests of elephants. So what they do is they draw blood from behind the ear, then they test the sugar levels of the elephants of what they eat in nature, and then that was specifically sent to the Chicago Zoo, where they also have elephants, to adapt their diets to then, correspond with what they're eating here in the wild. So that's one part of it. I've been involved in placing tracker devices in rhino horns.
Wow.
And then also youth development. So youth development is very important to me. And what I've noticed recently is kids don't read. I love the feeling of a book in my hands, and that is something that I want to carry forward and teach the younger generation. So I've already written one children's storybook on conservation efforts, and then I'm planning on doing another one for Miss International.
That is incredible, and I want to ask you, where does this drive and love for the animal conservation comes from? Did you grow up in a province in South Africa that was close to game farms or close to the Big Five?
So I am actually a farm girl, so I am from Limpopo. So I grew up on a farm. So that is truly where my love and inspiration for nature comes from.
That is so great. And now from the farm to overseas, you are now preparing for the Miss International pageant that's going to happen in Japan. But before we get to that, how do you manage your business, preparing for this, and also then your work that you do in the field?
So it is tough. I'm not even going to lie about it. It is tough. But I think the thing that carries me through it is God itself, and then time management. Sometimes I do work late. It's early mornings, late evenings, and then if I'm out in the field, then that's a jam-packed day. But all the glory goes to God for giving me the title, for giving me the opportunity, and for giving me everything that I have today.
That's very true. And I want to ask you, what message do you hope to convey about conservation as well? You helping the animals, the olifante, but what is the message that you would like to give people that do not respect animals, or the youth yet, or people who want to go into that type of work?
So something that I've learned through my conservation efforts is if you truly want to make a difference, you need to understand it. And I think that's where the biggest misconception comes in, is people don't understand how important these animals are. If elephants die or they completely go extinct, there are so many bio-ecosystems that die with them. And we live off of those ecosystems. So, it is truly, truly so important to start looking after nature. And the moment we instill those qualities into our youth, I think that we can truly see a difference, not just in nature, but in the world in general.
Sure, that is so true. And I read somewhere that the Miss International pageant has a really, really big focus on cultural understanding and global awareness. Now, what would you bring from South Africa, and what cultural nuances will you then explain and to show the world out there who and what South Africa is?
I think that is such an interesting question. You know, coming from South Africa, we are known as the rainbow nation of the world. We're such a diverse country. I mean, we have 12 official languages. We have 11 different cultures, you know, and for me, standing there as Miss International South Africa, I don't just stand there for myself, but I stand for the whole of South Africa. And what I'm bringing to that international stage is South Africa as a whole. You know, as Driekus du Plessis said, hulle weet nie wat ons weet nie.
Hulle weet nie.
It is so true. They don't know what we know. You know, we've come such a long way from democracy, truly standing, and the message that I want to portray on that stage is the message of Ubuntu, and that is I am because we are, and that is truly so true. And I think if we can take that message globally, we can truly make a difference in the cultural understanding of the world.
And I now realize while you were speaking, you are so inclusive, because you said 12 official languages, and our Miss South Africa currently is a little bit deaf, and Mia Leroux, and you've included her in this as well, which is so beautiful. And for the girls out there, you have probably faced challenges on your way to being right where you are now. How did you overcome those challenges?
So first, on the inclusivity thing, I have been part of the Miss Deaf South Africa as well. And it is truly so interesting to see how they use their different abilities, because I don't like to say that they're disabled, because they're not. They're just differently able.
Yes.
So it's just so amazing to see how they communicate, and actually, you know, how intelligent they still are. And I think that's something that we forget, is just because someone's deaf, you know, you focus on that part instead of looking at the other qualities that are so important.
That's very, very true.
And then for challenges, I think everyone goes through challenges on a daily basis. But the one thing that has carried me through is Romans 8 verse 38, and it says God is bigger than the highs and the lows.
Ooh, sure.
So I'm truly focused on my faith, and everything that I do is based on faith. And this entire title, this entire journey, I have truly just given to the Lord to say, you know what, let your will be done, and I will be happy with that.
I'm inspired. When is this pageant happening in Japan? It's a long haul to there, but we want to celebrate you and be there for you. When is it happening?
So I am flying between the 27th and the 28th of October, and then the finals will be on the 12th of October.
Okay, sterkte aan jou, ons dink aan jou.
Thank you.
And as Belinde Schreuder continues her journey to Miss International 2024 in Japan, we are inspired by her dedication to making a difference. Her story reminds us that beauty is more than skin deep. It's about impact, empowerment, and purpose. And we'll be following her journey closely and wish her all the best as she takes South Africa to the world.